Okay, Mac, live ka na?
Okay, so good morning. So this is the free training for Excel. So in this tutorial, um, I will be your teacher, Doc Mac. So we will be discussing about of Microsoft Excel. And for this Microsoft Excel tutorial, you will be learning about the basic formulas in Excel and other advanced or some functions such as VLOOKUPs and other lookups. Okay. Now, um, I have here a prepared spreadsheet which is Excel Essentials, VLOOKUP, and other lookups. So as you can see, um, you have here Access Internet Cafe, in which we have four columns: services, the price, quantity, and the total. Now, for the services, we have PC rental, um, print, black color, print, um, black and colored, and then for scan copy, and then for fax. And here are the respective prices of the following services. So for PC rental, it's 25. For black, it's 5. For colored, it's 12. For scan, it's 10. For fax, it's 15. And then we have here sample values for our quantities. So let's just say um, PC, PC rental of 25 peso per hour. The quantity is 2 hours. So if we will try to solve this, okay, we will be using the different types of formula in Microsoft Excel. So now we have three formulas in Excel. So the first formula that I will share to you is the relative formula. Relative formula. And the second formula that I will share to you would be absolute. So I will go with the details of this formula as we go along in our discussion. Third is, sorry about that. So let's just change the absolute, relative, absolute, and then for number three, that would be the mix formula. Now, first is the relative formula. Now, the formula that we typically use in our daily lives, spreadsheet, if you are using our spreadsheet, actually relative. So, why? Because, for instance, if you have the formula for price and quantity, you want to get the total is equals um, 25. All you have to do is all you have to do is click here on E6 and then type equals, and then um, type the cell C6, or so for some we type the cell, but you can also do the traditional way, which is by clicking this C6 and then multiply. Multiply is not X, but it's asterisk. Multiply by this one, the quantity. Our quantity would be 2. Okay. Then we press enter. So 25 times 2 is 50. Now, if I change the quantity, let's just say the quantity of the PC rental is 3 hours, and then I press enter, so it will change into 75 automatically. Now, the traditional way in the relative formula is after you do the formula, um, you go into the formula cell, and then um, you drag it. And so this is the typical way of doing it. Now, I'll show I'll show you a shortcut. Now, instead of doing that, you can just click here and then locate this one, the at the lower right portion. Place your cursor there, and then if your cursor will turn into a plus symbol, um, all you have to do is to instead of dragging like this, so this one is a traditional formula. Okay, let's just erase it. So instead of the dragging, you can actually double click it. There. So now, for that kind of shortcut, so it gives you um, more efficient time versus the dragging it. So that is the relative formula. So in relative formula, formulas are called in Excel are draggable. Now, have another example. So let's have here whole brain sales report. So 75,000 sorry, it's 7,550. Now let's just change this to a format in which I wanted this to, let's highlight this. I wanted this cells to have comma. So it's located in the home menu. Just click comma under the home, under the number tab. Under the home tab, you have the number, and then you have comma style there. And then if you don't want the decimal places, you can just decrease the decimal places. And then increase the decimal places and decrease the decimal places. Okay. Okay. Now, let's compute again for the total sales of this one. So equals price times, and then the number of enrollees is 39. So all you have to do is click this and then press enter. And then as I was saying, no need for you to do the dragging, but all you have to do is you do the double click. So it gives you a shortcut for you to have a more efficient time of computing your formulas. So double click there. So that is the relative formula. So let's just mark this as yellow. Okay, now another type of formula is called the absolute formula. So why is it called absolute formula? So I will explain to you using this example. So you have here a set of data of employee name, sales, and commission, and then a 5% commission rate. Let's just say I wanted to get the commission of, or the 5% of 84,000. So for some others, they would do it like this, equals this one, okay, equals H6 multiplied by 5%. And then you press enter. Okay. Now you can actually do it like that, but um, one efficient way of doing it instead of doing that is by having a cell, okay, in which you place the 5%. Why? Because it enables you to change the commission rate. For example, I changed my mind. So it's no longer 5%. So it's 10%. All you have to do is to just change it. So let's have the absolute formula. So equals this one for the sales multiply by um, the commission rate. Okay. Now, you will not do here the same kind of formula or the same kind of method that we use in the relative formula. Because if you do that, it will produce this result. So if I double click this, there. So what just happened there? So it's dash and then hashtag value, and then what's this? This one is 529 million. So obviously the answer is incorrect. Okay. Now, why is it incorrect? So let me just do the double check using the um, let me just track. So you can track where does this come from. So this one comes from H7 and I4, or I can go to status bar and then click trace precedence. So there. So now 95,000. So this one is actually the output of 95,000 multiplied by this one, this cell. Okay, so this cell, okay, so it actually follows when I scroll down, when I drag down. Now, let's remove the arrow. There. So let's remove the formula and let's try to make it, let's try to apply the absolute formula instead of the relative way of doing it. So with the relative formula, it is equals, so let's have it in this cell, equals 84,000 multiplied by, so this one, H6, will remain relative. While for this one, I would just click 10%. in order for me to set for the second cell, third cell, fourth cell, and the succeeding cell to be set to absolute formula, I will have to place a dollar sign there. Okay, some would place a dollar sign, or you can have it by using the F4 function. So F4 here. And then you press enter. And then similar to what I have told you in this example, so we can just double click instead of dragging it. So 95. So the 10% of 95,000 is 9,500. Now, if I change this to 5%, okay, so the value would change also. Okay. Now, let me just check if this one is the correct formula. So trace, all you have to do is click the cell and then click trace precedence there. So now it says here, now the arrow signifies that 1,800 is actually a product of 36,000 and 5%. And then let's remove the arrow. Okay, let's check this one, Ivan. Ivan is 22,000. So 1,100. So trace precedence there. So it's 22. The source is H11 and I3. So this one, it's locked or it's absolute. Okay. Remove arrow. Okay. Now, let's try example of the absolute formula. So, let's try to compute for the salary increase of the respective employees. Okay, 5%. So, all I have to do is to multiply the basic pay by 105%. So, equals this one, this cell, which is H19 multiply by the salary increase rate, which is 105%. Okay. Again, as I was saying a while ago, if you will drag this, it will produce an incorrect answer. So you have to make it into absolute. So how do you make it into absolute? So when you do the formula, okay, all you have to do is to, after clicking this, you can press F4 or function 4, this one. Or sometimes we tend to forget the function 4. So all you have to do is to go back to the existing formula and then highlight or place your cursor on any part of I-16. there, and then press function for enter there, and then you have the 3,000. So the 5% increase of 23,000 is 24,150. So I will have to click this instead of dragging to save time there. So let me just check if this one is the correct value by using formulas and then trace precedence. So for trace precedence, it shows the arrows that indicate which cells affect the value of the currently selected cell. So the currently selected cell is actually 25,200. So 25,200. Click trace precedence. So there. So 25,200 is actually an output of 24,105%. And then you can remove the arrow by clicking this. Okay. Then let's check for Ivan. Okay. Trace precedence. There. And for Jason, trace precedence. Okay. Now, for the mix formula, okay, so the third type of formula, okay, so the first type is relative, the second type is absolute, in which you place a dollar sign, and then the third type is the mix formula. Now, for mix formula, I have it on the second spreadsheet. So equals, now using a prior knowledge of absolute and relative will not do you any good in doing an efficient computation of this multiplication table, because if you click this, if you have the formula equals this one, multiply by this one by 1, and then if you drag it, so having a knowledge of relative is not sufficient because there, so it will produce an incorrect output. So let's just undo it there. Okay, now what should we do in here? So in this formula, so if you have the knowledge of relative, okay, so I will have to make the C5 into fix by placing a dollar sign and then press enter. So it actually produces the correct answer. So, but then again, for relative formula, having a knowledge of relative formula will not save you time because you will have to encode the formula 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 times. So imagine, so 10 times. So now, if you know about the mix formula, all you have to do is to examine the cells that are responsible for this for the output that we will want to show. So this one is, what cell is this? This one is C5. This one is D5. This one is E5. This one is F5. This one is G5. This one is H5. And this one is I5. So what do you commonly hear? So I commonly hear 5. So for the column, so let's just, for the column, so what do you need to fix? Okay. Or so which one is repeated? Repeated. So again, this one is C5, D5, E5, F5, G5, H5, I5, J5. So the repeated is 5 for the columns. And then for the row, this one is B6, this one is B7, B8, B9, B10, B11, B12. So it's letter B there. So that's the repeated value. Let's just change the color. It's there. So now, having this as our guide, okay, so equals this cell, C5. So I will press F4 or function 4 multiple times. 1, 2, 3. So I will just press it multiple times until the dollar sign is before number 5, because the repeated value is 5. And then multiply by this one. So since the repeated value is letter B, so I will just the function 4 and then press the function 4 again. Press the function 4 again, or the F4. So that's B6. So it, this one here, that fixed value is 5 and the fixed value is letter B. So that's the mixed formula. Mixed formula is actually a hybrid of absolute and relative. So if you press enter, so I can just simply drag this downward and drag it to the right. There. Now let's check using the trace precedence. So 20 is produced by what formula? And then trace precedence 4 and 5. How about 36? 36 is produced by Let's check it by using, let's remove the arrow first. Okay. Trace precedence there. So it's actually an outcome of multiplying 6 by 6. Okay. Let's remove the arrow again. Okay. Now, let's try it with this cell. So this is the typical guide for computation in which um, uh, you have the quantity here and then you have the price here. You typically saw this when you go into your bookstore, and then for your or computer shop or internet shop for your, sometimes they would have a table in which they would refer to in order for them to identify um how much. So 7 and then 3, 7 times 3. So we can use again the mix formula here. So equals this one, B6, B7, B8, B9, B10, B11, B12. So let's go back here. So since B is the one being repeated, so I will just use function for, place the dollar sign before letter B. Multiply by this cell by C5, and then C5, this one is D5, this one E5, this one is F5. So it's the 5 that is being repeated. So I will use the function for to have the dollar sign in front of number 5. So there. And then I can drag it to the right. And as I was saying a while ago, no need to drag, but all you have to do is to double click there. All you have to do is to highlight this one there, and then you place your cursor here in the lower right portion, and if you saw the plus cursor, it's plus sign. This one is a big cross with the space inside. You need this one, the plus, and then you need to double click there. Okay, so let's just check if it's working. So 8, of course we know that 8 times 3 is 20. For us to double check, we can use the formula and then trace precedence there. How about for this cell? Where does 60 come from? So 60 trace precedence there. Okay. So now let's move to our another example. Another example is of the mixed formula is we will try to compute the discounted price. So this is the original price, and then this is the discount. This is the percentage. Okay, so using the mix formula again equals this one, and then so C6, C6, this one is C7, this one is C8, C9, C10, C11, C12. So it's letter C that should be with a dollar sign. Multiply by this one, um, D5, E5, F5, G5, H5, and I5. So it's number 5 that should have the dollar sign. So function for multiple times until the dollar sign. So as you can see, if you press function for multiple times, the dollar sign would rotate 5. There you have it. And then I will just drag it to the right. And then again, as I was saying, no need for you to drag it downward, but use the shortcut of placing your cursor here. If you saw the plus sign, you will have to just double click there. So let's check if this one is correct. So where does $90 come from? Actually, this one is in dollar, but if you want to change this to Philippine peso, we can do this by just highlight this first. Oh, let's just go to currency. The default currency actually is in dollar. You can change it in number formats, and then currency, and then symbols. You can see all the currencies of the world. So we can search for Philippines, or click here and then type P. There, PHP. PHP is for Philippine peso. And then click OK. There. Okay. Okay. Next lesson would be some of the, let's apply some of the advanced functions of, actually, these are also some of the essential functions. Okay, now reviewing what we have learned, so equals this one, equals the price, multiply by the quantity, enter. No need to um no need to drag, but you will have to double click it there. And then for the grand total, okay, for some of you who are non-Excel users, I often see some people do a formula like this. If I want to get the grand total equals this one plus this one plus this one plus this one plus this one. Now, how about if it's 10? 10 cells. So that would be so long. So instead of doing that, you can use the equals sum for open parentheses and then highlight it. Now, for some of you who have a basic knowledge of some function, you will have in that you need to press the close parenthesis. But actually, you can leave it there. Just press enter, and if you go back, it will automatically close the formula equals sum. Then here's your formula E4 to E8 for the summation. Now, for the average, that would be equals average. Okay, so now some of you who do not know the average function would do it like this. Equals sum, and then highlight this one. Some I saw, some persons I saw, they do it like this, equals, then this one plus this one plus this one plus this one, and then divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the long way of doing it. But actually, you can use the formula equals average and then highlight all the value and then press enter instead of closing it before pressing enter. So press enter. Okay. So 63 is the average of these values. Okay. Now, if I wanted to get the highest, so by the way, the highest number is 150. Yeah. But if I am not aware that 150 is the highest, I can use the formula equals, or the function equals max. Equals max, open parentheses, and then highlight this one, and then press enter. So max, get the highest value. So that's 150. And to get the lowest value, now what's the opposite of max? The opposite of max or maximum is, yes, minimum. So equals min for minimum, and then highlight this, and then press enter. So 15. So 15 is the smallest value in this. Okay. Now, if I want to know the second highest, the formula I will I will be using large. So how does large works? So equals large open parentheses, and then the array is the, I will have to highlight this one, then comma. If I want to get the second largest, I will just type 2. And then again, as I was saying, no need to do the close parentheses. All I have to do is press enter. So enter, so 60. So yeah. So as you can see, common sense will tell us that because these are just small numbers, but in our other examples like this, there are confusing values. Okay, you will be needing the large functions, the large function. So this one is 2. Why is it 2? Because you are looking for the second highest. If I want to look for the highest, I will just change it to 1. Now changing it to 1 will look, it's the same value as maximum. If I change it to 3, the third highest, so the third highest value is 50. The fourth highest value is 40. So that would be for large. That's into 2, large. And then for the lowest, now what's the opposite of large? The opposite of large is actually small. So there's no such thing as extra large and small, extra small, excess. All you have is mean for minimum, max is for maximum, large is for second highest, third highest, fourth highest, etc. And then for um, lowest equals large, small, this one, highlight, comma, second smallest is actually 2. There. So second to the least. Second to the least. The third to the least is actually 3. Third to the least is actually 50, and so on. So let's have it back to number 2. So that's the small function. Okay. Now, next is the ranking. So now typically, okay, when you do the ranking, you do it like this. So which one is the highest? So the highest is so I will just place here rank. So oh, this is the highest. I will place here 1. And then the second is this one. The third is this one. The fourth is this one. The fifth is this one. Okay, again, these are small values. Now, how about if you are doing it with this kind of data, or for data that are have more values? So you can use the formula of, so for rank, so it's equals rank equals rank, open parenthesis, number is this one, the one on your left, comma, and then for the reference is to highlight this one, and then of course I will have to use function for, and then comma, and then descending, or I can also select ascending. Okay, so I think our time is up. So there. So 3, 1, 2, 4, and 5. So there. Okay, so do you have any questions? Okay. Good morning. Okay. Think our time is up, so we will just entertain some questions. Okay. So for more information on this course, okay, you will have to visit our website, skywithsci.com, or feel free to have inquire us by email at the contact us page. There's the contact us page, or training at um, fullbrainmanila.com. So we can just, or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram page or the YouTube channel.
Thank you very much, Mac. Thank you to all those who watch us today. Thank you, and until next time. Thank you, Doc Mac.
Thank you. Yeah.